hit live so soon. Hi guys, I'm freezing. It's cold out here. And my fucking, I don't know why it's doing this every so often, but it just won't start. So every other time I have to shut it off. Anyway, it is what it is. I am tired today. I'm dying a slow death. I say this to you every day, but I am. It's the morning of the sob. It's the morning of the Sunday sermon. It is. It's Sunday. I don't have a lot of time today because I'm going to see the one Nugget play soccer. So I am leaving this joint and I'm getting the fuck out of here. God, I'm so tired. Now I'm waiting for my fucking treadmill today's going to be a day of fucks. So if the fucks are going to bother you, my suggestion is don't stay in here, okay? Because it's going to be a day of fucks. And I'm going to tell you why in about a minute. Yeah, I was up all night, Debbie. And I fell in between that. Not sure everybody saw that, but I fell in between one of my wake ups. Yeah, I fell. Right on my fucking hip and my knee. My knee's killing me, my back, my neck. So I fell on my right side. And so now my left side of my neck is so painful and my knee is painful. Yeah. So that was my night last night. Getting up for Ed. And Coda was, normally I look, but you know, there was so much going on last night. It was constant. And he just, it was fucking horrible. And Coda's always either on the bed or she's by my side or on the dog bed. But I looked down, I didn't see her. She was kind of tucked underneath the bed, and I stepped down and of course, you know, try to avoid the, Dan wasn't really up much last night. He was up at the beginning. It started at 10:40 and it just went all night long. I was pretty much the one doing it all night long. He kind of yelled a couple times at the beginning of the night, get back to bed, but not much. Oh, so I'm in pain. And, it is what it is. So then I'm pissy this morning because I've had no sleep. And you know, the infamous Dan, well, I was up at night too. No, you weren't. You got up when I fell. He was like, what happened? I said, I fell. He said, oh, and went back to bed. He actually got up. But didn't do anything because I did it all. And then 20 seconds later, do I drink coffee? Yes, I had a little bit. Pretty much, I'm up a lot. And I can tell you I'm up more than him. He will tell you it's not true, but I am, especially on these nights. I had some coffee, but coffee's been hurting my stomach. So I will be definitely having a Red Bull. On the way to the thing. You know what I mean? Wherever I'm going today. So yeah, I'm done. I am done. Today is a day of being completely irritated. So if I look tired, I am. And I'm hurting more than normal. So this morning I was making the bed and I said, yeah, I'm hurting because of your dad. It wasn't my dad's fault. It was because I wouldn't have fucking gotten out of bed. I would have gotten out of fucking bed if it wasn't for your dad. And I wouldn't have tripped on, I know, Deb, I'm thinking casino day. I'm thinking I'm just gonna leave this joint and say, fuck you to everybody. Yeah, so then Andrew went skiing. Hi, Jojo. And so he has a Subaru. So we got the Porsche back. Of course, you know, they have to run diagnostics and they have to
do all that stuff for nothing to have help, right? Nothing, it's fine. So an oil change typically on that thing is $150. So it was a $600 bill because, you know, they have to, and everything was fine. So Dan's like, well, that was great. A $600 oil change. I say the F word all the fucking time, Rockwell. What's your point? You don't fucking like it. You know where the fuck you can go. That's right, out of my life. So anyhow, I'm going to the Nuggets this morning, so if you want to walk, you have to go between now and 10:15 because I'm leaving. Oh, that's fucking great. So I'm home all day. I said, yeah, you're home until I get home. Well, I'm stranded. I said, are you stranded, really? Because what car did you drive yesterday? Andrews. All right, well, then it looks like you're not stranded, right? So he's like, well, how are you getting there? The fucking Porsche. How do you like that, Faith? Have faith, Faith. Fuck. Anyhow, I'm cranky, William. I haven't slept, and I fell in the middle of the night. Dan did not go to Michigan. That's from my friend Linsky, who sends him Michigan stuff. She's a Michigander, so yeah. Anyhow, bye, Faith. We're not in the mood for people to mention it's an automatic ban today. If you fucking comment about my fucking mouth. You got the fuck? You fucking comprende? I'm tired. Anyhow, so other than that, we have some things to talk about because today is fucking Sunday. It's the day of rest. It's a fucking day for some people, the Lord, and from other people, it's not the day of the Lord. But typically, it's a day of rest, right? So we're gonna talk about a couple things. Now, because we got a Sunday sermon with Danielle on the treadmill. That's right. I need everybody to give me an amen, and I need a deep breath in, and I need a deep breath out. We are going to take this time to rejuvenate ourselves. We're going to take this time. Dan, you asked me yesterday. I had the same response. Fuck that guy. Did you? I mean, I cannot fucking win. You know what I mean? Dan is still practicing. He's kind of fully fucking retired. I wish he would go back to the office. If you really want to know, yes, I wish. At least a couple days a week. Give me a break. But I swear, he's always just coming in, like oblivious to the world. Yes, I'm irritated with him because I was up a lot last night. I did not go to church today. I did not talk to Jesus. I sure as hell did not. But we are going to preach about it right now. Not necessarily because I'm not religious, you guys. And if that's a reason to unblock, block, or unfollow, then here's an excuse too. I do not believe in any holier powers. I am spiritual, but I don't believe in, whatever some of you believe in, and that's fine. I'm not here to judge how you believe or what you want to believe in, but just respect my beliefs and not believing. But I am spiritual. I am spiritual because, when your mom dies and your dad dies, all of the ripe old age of 30, ish, you lose a sense of something. You lose a sense of identity. You lose a sense of comfort. You lose a lot. So in order for me to get through, I believed, right? I believed that the little messages that I was getting were my mama. So anyhow, I do not believe in Jesus, no. Do I believe in aliens? Yes. I don't believe in, anyhow, I don't want to get into the specifics. You guys, I respect your beliefs, just respect me, ultimately, for not believing the way you may believe, right? And there's reasons why. But unfortunately, I can't talk about those things because some people are ugly on here, and I keep certain things private because of that fact. I can't talk about certain things regarding me because I have to worry about things like safety for my kids, safety for myself. As you all know, I have a lot of people who hate me, so don't like me and will do anything to get rid of me somehow. So I'm here. So believe it or not, there are certain things we just don't talk about for that reason. Now, I watched, I've talked about this guy before. And speaking of just those things, it kind of got me a little bit. It kind of got me. So, Chris Olsen. If any of you follow Chris Olsen on TikTok, I don't know if he's on YouTube. He's really good friends with Megan Trainor, which came out during his rise on TikTok, right? So he's gay. He had a terrible childhood based on him knowing he was different, and the ridicule and the hate and all that shit that he got, the torment, along with other, things that come along with being gay, right? Being queer. And it's really hard for me to use that word queer. And I know they use it a lot more now because of the description, but it still makes me uncomfortable because, to me, being queer was a derogatory term, how I grew up and where I grew up, but it's not. So, anywho, he was crying today, or whenever I saw the post, I don't know, but I saw it this morning, and it kind of brought tears to my eyes. It brought tears to my eyes. Zoomies, if you're on, can you keep a lookout? Because I think Dan's trying to go for a walk, which means that I'm gonna have to get Ed settled. Anywho, yeah, and Debbie, you should. I don't, and that's some of the reasons why I don't like religion, right? I don't like religion because they're typically the ultra religious want to change. They don't believe in being homosexual, and shit, it was a reset. I can't even go in. Fuck my life. Anyhow, so I and so no, this is not why I'm anti-religion. Okay, but it's some of the reason, right? Because aren't you part of a religion? You're supposed to accept all and love all for who they are and for what they are and for who they want to be. And that just kind of bugs me that people are so full of hate and want to just hate and not accept somebody's publications towards the same sex, right? Anywho, let's not get on that topic. So anywho, he was crying. And I thought, okay, let me sit here and let me see what he's got to see today. What he's got to say. And it kind of hit me weirdly. And I don't know, I try to upload it to Patreon. Patreon's slow lately, so if you are a member of Patreon, you saw my video this morning, great. If not, probably hasn't posted yet. It's been a pain in my ass. Anyway, he was crying because, and I thought this was a great Sunday talk. Anyhow, Rocky just texted me. We're not gonna be able to do lunch. It's her brother's birthday, so we're dropping Wes off. Okay, all right, whatever. So, anyhow, he was crying for the unknown. He was crying for his childhood. He was crying for a place that no longer exists, right? He was crying for wanting to be home, having that grief of not being able to have that time back, I guess, or when we're low, right? And when we're down And when we want that comfort, we don't want the responsibilities, we think about home, right? Some of us think about growing up in our childhood home. And many of us don't have those homes anymore, right? Or the marriages of our parents have been dissolved during this process. So he was crying for the have-nots. He was crying for that grief of not being able to go back home. You know, going back where he felt safe. Yeah. Where he felt safe and he felt, that comfort because of his mom or his dad. Now, I don't really know much about him. I haven't done much research. But, so anywho, and I kind of cried because he's going through a grieving process, right? And he's young. So I can see that because, of the person he wants to, and I don't understand why he is doing that because I know he was tormented. Maybe he wants to go back and change. I don't know. But I kind of walked away and I just sat there for a minute. And I got a little teary-eyed. And I thought, I guess I wouldn't want to go back to my childhood home, right? It wasn't peaceful for me. It has a lot of bad memories. It has stress. It has anxiety. So I don't miss that. I miss the comfort of my mom. So maybe I would go back for that purpose, to get some more love from my mom. Maybe change who I was a little bit, make me stronger. You know what I mean? I don't know. But does anybody feel like that? Does anybody ever want or feel like they want to, go back or have they grieved their parents? Have they grieved that part? I had to grieve the loss of my parents. I didn't grieve. My childhood sucked, right? My childhood sucked. You do every day. I grieve, death. I grieve my mom. I grieve my dad not being here, but I don't grieve the same way Chris Olsen's grieving about going back. And I think that has to do with my situation, and I'm older, right? I'm 50. The things I miss are the deaths, the people who died, the people who enriched my lives, in ways that I don't get the same things today. Hi, Robbie. Yeah, I miss my grandparents. So I guess maybe, JD, if I had to go back, I would want to go back. I want to go back to my grandparents' house, right? I want to go back to those times that were so pivotal for me. I was so comforted. So thank you. By talking this through, I realize that I may not necessarily grieve my own childhood home, but I'm grieving the loss of normalcy, happiness, and death. So I guess I can go back to my grandparents' home, not my childhood home. You did, Linda? I love that. You could grieve for the parents you should have had. I can see that. I don't grieve for the parent. I've accepted that, Lulu, and let me tell you why. I grieve. I've accepted my parents for the faulty people they were, right? I accepted them each for what they provided me. At the time, of course, right? They were lacking, and I wish I could change lots of things. So I grieve just the loss of them not being here for whatever I have accepted from them. So, it's different. And we all have our own stories, right? We all have our own trauma. We all have our own shit. But it just got me thinking. And I thought, God, am I a horrible person? You know, for thinking that way? For thinking, hell no, I don't want to go back to the house that I grew up in. You know? But I would definitely go back to my grandparents, right? So, anyhow. Yes, and Carol, we talked about that yesterday, about how not to parent from your mother. And I don't know if you were here yesterday, but it was basically that. You either grow out of the mold or you stay in the mold. But you have to recognize what you don't like of that mold first in order to change. And a lot of people can't recognize behaviors that they're used to or behaviors of themselves, right? It's called open-mindedness. And, you know, a lot of us are stuck in those ways sometimes. I knew I wanted to be something different, right? I knew I wanted to be different than my mom in certain ways, not always, but I didn't want to be a binge alcoholic, right? I didn't want my misery to overcome my happiness and the enjoyment in life, right? And for her, I don't know, you know, if she just wasn't happy. I think she loved her kids to pieces, right? But she wasn't happy. I knew I did not want to be there. I knew I did not want to be an addicted person, to miss things that, you know, my kids were doing or sharing their happinesses. So I changed that. I changed that path. You know, I knew from my dad that I wanted to be a parent that was involved. Maybe too involved, but I wanted to be that parent. I've been at 3 years old, abused and raised by an abusive narcissist. I'm a good human in spite of your parents. And word, because, you know, again, you changed your path. You chose, what a day, to not let your path define you. And a lot of people can't help but let that part of their life define who they are, right? And it's hard to break free from patterns of abuse, neglect, right? It's hard. And some people just don't do it. And they become and continue to be miserable, unhappy, and put their pain and project it onto others, which I'm proud that you were able to. Now, I'm sure in that, a lot of people, you know, we have up and downs in those moments of feeling, right? But I'm happy to say I broke some of those cycles, right? I broke some of those cycles. And it makes me feel good as an individual. I miss my grandparents so much because I wish I could tell them, Judy, I think that was you, that said, if I could thank them for giving me such a strong foundation in love, the importance of family, the importance of eliminating hate and not being angry, right? Now, I suffered anger for a long time. But as I got older, I gained the wisdom and developed tools necessary to let certain things go. Now, I still get angry. I'm not perfect, but I wish I could hug them. I wish I could just tell them, thank you. I saw what it was like for my grandparents to live the life they had, to not have hate, and to live every fucking day to the fullest. God, you guys, it was amazing. I was abused by my dad. He abandoned me at 13. I finally took my power back. And that's what it's about, BC. It's about be respectful. I don't have anger issues, and I'm not defensive. People just don't like boundaries, and people don't like the truth. So your comment shows me and proves everything I'm saying. You choose to see the ugly. You were taught that based on your experiences, neglect, unhappiness. I can't change that for you, but you can choose that for yourself. Now, if you choose to look at things that way, that shows me you are negative. You're negative because you don't see the good, right? You're looking at me, you're judging me, and you're basing what you see because you are trained that way by yourself and your environment. That's nothing on me, and it's ugly. So once you get the power to look inside yourself and reflect, maybe one day you too will see the ugliness that you see. I was the same way, Bean. I was the same way before TikTok came into my life, and I learned how to self-reflect based on what I saw in myself on videos. So maybe wish good luck, because it looks to me that you need to find some general sense of happiness. I wasn't a perfect parent, but my boys and I are best friends. Here's the thing, nobody's perfect. You know, I'd like to say I was the perfect parent, right? And then my kids, you know, come at me with shit. And I just giggle. I'm like, well, okay. -1 for mom. I see the good, but I see the bad also. What's wrong with that? Because all you're doing is you're seeing the bad. Bean, I'm gonna put it back on you. What do you see, Bean, that I do good? How about I put it back to you? So you've pointed out my negatives, according to Bean. Now, Bean, if you can see both ways, then tell me what you see that I do that's good. I'll play this game with you. I played this game with you. Anyhow, you're welcome, Lee. So, you know, and I told you when I started this journey and I saw myself on film, I saw my hurt, I saw my anger, I saw my sadness, right? Something that you guys just are incapable of seeing. I saw the real issues, right? I saw the real issues of myself. And I said, holy hell, I don't want to die that way. I want to die with a new lease on life. I want to die without feeling so negative all the time. I want to die with my kids being proud of me. And that's when I slowly but surely started self-reflecting on myself. And I started trying to learn more about myself, what I want, right? How I want to be. 4 years. And I'm still working on myself. It's taken 4 years of this social media journey, and I'm still working on the negative. And that's okay. But at least I can admit when I'm failing, right? It's least I can say, you know, I'm being ugly right now. And a lot of people can't admit that. They say it to themselves, but they never would admit it out loud. Now, I can do that. That's part of self-reflection. That's part of owning your shit. And until you can do that, don't come at me. The good you say some real positive things that I've used in my own life. No, Bean, that's not what I asked. You came on here attacking me. And you just said you see the good and the bad of situations. I said, fine. Come on here. If you can be so, right, multi-denominational, then you come on here and you tell me what you see good that I do. You can't say it. You know why? Because you're stuck with ugly judgment. You can't. You can't, because let me tell you something. Am I defensive sometimes? Yeah, I am. And I have every fucking right to be because of people like you. Am I judgy sometimes? Absolutely. Sometimes I'm judgy. And you know what? I'm going to tell you when I'm most judgy is when I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed and I'm angry. That's when I'm the most judgy. But when I'm sleeping, when I feel good, don't hurt, don't have pain, I can tell you I don't have, and I don't, am not a ball of negativity. But I can admit that. I can admit that. Yay me, you can't. And that's what's sad with the society today. People want to cast their ugliness and their projections of themselves onto others because they assume that we are the same way as you. Now there's parts and pieces to it, absolutely. But the one thing that I have that you don't have is reflection, acceptance, knowing what I do wrong, trying to fix those things, and continuously to learn about myself and my journey. By your comments, you don't lead that way. So, being human. And I think some of it, some people grow, right? We say wisdom. Wisdom is important in our life. It's things that we have learned, things that we were taught, things that we have evolved from, right? You have to have an open mind. But if you're full of judgment and ugly, your mind's never going to be open. You're going to see negative, and I was that way. All you're going to see is negative. You will never ever see anything positive in your life. So, the wise words of Danielle Rachel Behar Salinger. So stop coming at me until you fix yourself. Because you're really the real problem, not me. Who in their right's mind, right? Who in their right's mind would come every day and badger people? Badger people for what they do, for how they're doing it, for how they look, for what their sexual orientation is. I sure as hell wouldn't do that. But you would. Why? Because does it make you feel better? Does it make you feel better? Here's my analogy. Here's my thought process on that. You see somebody before you. Take me, for example. It's sometimes hard. It's hard to admit. Take me, for example, right? Since I'm the base of everybody's bitching and complaining. Come live my life one day. I'm sacrificing myself for my husband, for his father. Yeah, I could totally see a legitimate reason to be angry at me. I've learned about myself. I've learned to set boundaries. I've learned to accept my failures. I've learned to accept the things I'm not good at, and I strive to be better. There is no such thing as perfection, but I can tell you what I don't do, which helps, is I don't look for the negative in everybody. I don't come and I don't look to fire upon people because I'm angry, or I'm unhappy, or I'm jealous, or I don't like somebody's personality. We are a melting pot in this world. Some good, some bad, some in between, some just trying to live life, right? Here's the thing. The only thing you can fix is yourself. I hated finding fault in everything, in every person, because that's anger. That's jealousy. That's ugly. And I was that person. And I would never, even when I thought of those ugly things, Red, I think I know something about your story. And I would never, ever, ever take my time, even in my worst days, to yell at people and to tell them what they're shitty for, to tell them what I don't like about them. God, what kind of person does that make you? Right? Come on. You see the good and the bad? No, all you see is the ugly. And you choose to pick apart people because you can't find happiness for yourself. We live this world alone. We are in charge of our destiny. We are in charge of our own person. We are the only thing that we can change. And when you can't look at yourself and admit your faults and see you're ugly, you ain't looking to change. You are looking to spread your ugly. And that's why you go on social media to attack people, because it makes you feel better. You don't like strong people, especially women. God, how horrible is that? I'm proud of myself. Proud of myself. Even in my fucking weak moments. and my feeling moments, I am proud of myself because I have done what most people can't do. I have let go of a lot of things. Am I still angry? Yep. Do I still get mad? Abso-fucking-lutely. Am I still sad? Yep. But I'm 80% better than I was 4 years ago. I'm living for myself. I'm living to leave a mark. I'm living to show my kids how it's done. I am proud of myself, even on my worst days. Even in my weakest moments with my husband, I have done and I have sacrificed so much for this family that I'm happy. I'm doing what I'm doing because I choose to do it. Whether I'm bitching along the way or not, I'm still doing it. The bitching comes from being taken for granted. The bitching comes from being tired. The bitching comes from being overwhelmed, but doesn't take away from my happiness. It doesn't. I'm just tired. I'm overworked. I'm getting older. Things aren't as easily capable of rolling off like they used to be. So there you have it. There you have it. My life ain't easy. And some of you saw Dan yesterday and him and his personality and his lack of being open and seeing things he just can't see. That's his personality. That's the way he was raised. And he can't see it, as some of you know. And it doesn't mean, it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating for sure, but I love him nonetheless, and that's why I'm still here, right? That's why I'm still here. He frustrates the fuck out of me. So does his dad, I'm wiping asses. I'm cleaning up messes. I'm feeding them. I'm tired. I was up from 10:40 to 6:45 this morning with a fall in between, and I'm still doing it. I can't take the day off as much as I want to. As much as I want to tell everybody, fuck you, I can't. I can't. I may bitch about it, and I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it. It's part of the thing, it's part, and I'm honest, you guys, hold on, my knee just started, it almost felt better to run. I'm falling apart. I try to laugh, I try to look for my sparkle. You guys, I try so hard because what I did last night and what I do a majority of these nights is exactly that. I fell going to take care of Ed. Somebody come get her. Clean up aisle 5. And what did I do? I picked my fucking fat ass off the floor, limping, and I led him back to bed. And he was feisty. He was feisty at that moment. One of the videos when I'm like, you're driving me nuts, that's after my fall. You're driving me nuts, and that's okay. I'm waiting for all the negative Nellies to come at me and say, oh my God, you don't tell somebody with dementia. You don't tell somebody with dementia that you're driving them nuts. I do. Why not? I'm doing this job. I'm frustrated. It's okay for me to say, you're driving me nuts. Yeah, I fell. I really tripped over Coda. She was kind of tucked under my bed, and I didn't see her. And of course, we try to save our animals. And so I just fucking fell on my fat ass. I hurt myself, my right hip, my right knee, my left side of my neck, and my back. It doesn't feel good when you fall at 50. Okay, let me hold on for a second since Dan left.
Since Stan left, I gotta go see. Ow. Oh, I'm gimping away, y'all. was up. Eduardo was up. So I had to do my job. Anyhow. Yeah, no, nobody knows. Sorry for what I said. You muted me for nothing. And God bless you. My mom lost the fight in July. I don't mute, by the way. I don't mute. I don't mute. So if you got muted, number one, it could be an accident. Number two, there was a reason. And most things that get you muted are repeating over and over and over again, being passive aggressive, and just being plain ugly. So if you were muted, it could be a different thing. So just don't come on here aggressively and start bitching, because that's likely to get you muted too. Anywho, so heads up, how to change them. And anyway, so good morning, people. I don't have that much time left, so I'll do my shaky, and hopefully this doesn't hurt me anymore. So I went to the, you love my tea? Love your tea? Oh, Less Than Tidy. Who remembers Less Than Tidy? Who remembers Less Than Tidy? Less Than Tidy was something from over a year ago, going on 2 years in June. And it was when we stayed in New Mexico for my brother's wedding, and the owner called us Less Than Tidy. Pissed me off. Fucking, I'll show you Less Than Tidy. So my friend Lynn made me this shirt, and it makes me giggle. You feel the same way Dan does, taking care of a parent. Okay, but Sandy, can you see how that could have been misconstrued? You know, it's me here. It's me here talking. And you're just kind of, I agree. I know I feel the same way Dan does, but he's not the only one taking care of his parent. So my mods could have seen that as a passive aggressive comment, leading to just more Danielle, like anti-Danielle campaign. And it's fine. You don't have to, but Dan and I are on the same path. You know, we do it together. And I know a lot of people have this thing that, against me. I you know, for God knows whatever they've misconstrued in their heads about me and my tone and, you know, whatever. But, you know, look past that stuff. You know, look past that stuff. Because yeah, do I have a tone? Abso-fucking-lutely. Do you not see, if you took care of a parent, you would know that your tone is not always perfect. You would know that your days are up and down. You know that there's days you can just break down and cry. But guess what? I'm here doing the same thing, right? I'm here doing the same thing. I'm suffering in a lot of ways that Dan's not. And it's a journey that you sacrifice together. And sometimes you question, why are we sacrificing? Why am I sacrificing? You know, I'm fucking tired. I can't do this, you know? And he's not my parent. Despite the history we have, you know, he's still, right, here, and I'm doing it. Whether I'm annoying or not, Annie, I'm here, I'm doing it. And I think I'm pretty badass at doing all those things. And if some of you think I complain about it, I'm venting just for my fellow caregivers, right? Because the fellow caregivers go through the same fucking shit I'm going through. And I don't sugarcoat it, because I tell you the way I feel. I get an axe on my head, or a bullseye, right? Because I'm open and honest about my daily struggles or my frustrations with my husband. People appreciate it. There's a lot more people who appreciate my bullshit. And that's the thing. A lot of my people come here every day because they want to laugh. I make my situation serious and funny. I fucking fell. My fat ass fucking fell. And I almost fell again. I'm fucking tired, okay? Hi, Miami. And it's tough. And being
lack of sleep also makes the normal, monotonous fucking bullshit of a household that much more harder. And I'm not coming home today, Dan, if you're watching. Fuck everything. I'm gonna go to my sugar daddy's house. Anyhow, so caretaking is exhausting, yeah. And that's hard too, especially having a child, right, that has a disability. I mean, it's the same thing. It's day in, day out of the same monotonous stuff, you know? You have peaks and valley in every day. I'm never on a level playing field throughout my day, right? There is never anything that is just straight. In the land of caregiving and dealing with husbands and wives and on all the other monotonous shit, it's like this for me all day long, you know? And sometimes I don't even know what way's up. I don't know what day it is. All I know is how I'm feeling, and all I can do is just keep moving forward. And that's what I talk about, right? That's what I talk about for my fellow caregivers, or the people who understand and connect with me because they were there, or they just lost their loved one, or their husband is just like mine. You know, people relate to people, and that's why we follow people on social media. I may not be that person for you, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to win awards on every front with everybody, and that's okay. This world is crazy, right? And I understand, but you people, before you sit and judge me, take a good look at your fucking self and your behavior. That's all I'm saying. You know, you come on here and attack me. I don't attack people. I don't go out of my way to tell somebody they're doing a shitty job. Who am I to say they're doing a shitty job? I don't know them. I don't know what their family dynamic is. I can't judge that. And I would never tell them that. Because who am I? I'm nobody. And let me tell you that anytime somebody shows their life and shares it with a mass population, we are sharing for the people who want to share and the people who want to be a part of it. We don't think we're doing anything wrong because this is our normal day-to-day life. And who the fuck are you to tell us we're not doing it right? You don't know. How do you know what my day-to-day shit is? Stand down. Find somebody you like. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You know, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yes, and most of the people want to laugh, right? They want to laugh. They want to just have a little escape from their day-to-day shit. And if I can make people laugh, I'm doing my job. When people come on and tell me, hey, you made me giggle and I feel guilty about giggling, but you make me giggle. I said, that's the point. I'm okay with making fun of myself. I'm okay with making fun of my husband and myself. He may not be okay with it all the time, but he frustrates the fuck out of me. He frustrates me. And it's okay. This is my channel. If I want to complain about my husband, it's not my fault. You know who he is. I want to complain about him because that's what we do. We need to vent, right? How many of you feel like you're not alone now knowing that my kitchen looks the same as yours, whether it's your kids or it's your husband? You know? Yes, that's normal shit. I'm normalizing normal. That's normal. The bullshit of the bullshit of the bullshit is normal. Not people smiling all pretty with matching outfits and pretending like everything's great. That's not normal. And you know, if you all see that and that's all you see on social media, alert, abort the mission. Yes, I just got popular, right? Because of my husband and because of his dad. I'm sure Dan would do the same if it was your parent. He would do it. He would have done it for a heartbeat if I needed to take care of my mom while she died. He would have held my hand while doing it, not knowing really how to comfort me, but that's okay. But he was still allowed it. You know, it is what it is. My husband is my rock, but he's also my biggest irritant. He really is. And, you know, he's kind of like some of the trolls where he doesn't like he only sees what he chooses to see. With me, it's weird. He has almost like this innate ability to like get his like myopic tunnel vision glasses on when he knows, you know, it's me. Everybody else, he is so open-minded for, and it's so funny because he has all these, and I'm like, if you just gave me 1 ounce of what you give your friends or your nephew, God, it would be so different. But when he sees me, it's like the shields go down and the force and the cage, and he just cannot accept the things that I explain to him and want him to get better on, right? No, I don't need anybody's approval. And rock and irritating as hell. Here's the thing. If you know, if I really needed him in some major catastrophe, or, you know, I needed to, you know, he's always there. He's very, I think with me, he just takes it for granted that I can kind of handle situations on my own, and I can kind of deal with things on my own, which kind of has made him over the years a little blind to certain cues that I give of like, I need help. I'm dying. Because what do? I just get back on the horse and I keep doing what I got to do. You know what I mean? And so I think he takes that part of me for granted. And it is what it is. He can agree with it. He cannot agree with it. But if he says absolutely not, then he's not being open-minded. So let's see. I watch you for a while now. I see all sides of you. You're human. Yeah, I am. I mean, you've seen me cry. You know, you've seen me be absolutely irate. You know, you've seen me, you know, I understand men a little better now. Men are fucking difficult, let me tell you. So, I mean, I just try to keep it real, you know, it's the most things, you know. I was very nervous when I started to be, you know, because people were emailing me and telling me, I mean, look at what my son does. Like, he took off my ski racks and he put them on by himself, which I was very proud of. But he left, this is what my house, this is how, and you know, he's my husband and he's still incapable of doing shit. But my son, who I've tried my hardest to, he just left, like, he took these out, or they fell out to get, right? To get the ski racks, which is great, but he didn't put them back where they belong. Those are the things that irritate the fuck out of me, right? It's a total man brain, a fucking man brain. Doesn't think, oh, let me do this. I love you, Mom. I put the racks on myself. Oh, good, son. I'm glad you did. You figured it out. Yeah, I live with that. And if Ed had all his faculties and was able to do it, he would probably help me the most out of this house. Anyhow, okay, with that, I gotta leave because I gotta shower and ice my soul, heat my soul up. Yeah, they're amazing. And it doesn't mean when we complain, and that's how people get it twisted, right? People look at me and complaining. I'm not really complaining. I'm venting. I love what I do and I hate it at the same time. I love it and hate it, right? It's possible. I love being married and I hate it at the same time. It's so hard. Day-to-day life is so hard. A lot of it's my fault, right? Because of my expectation in myself, and I want to do it all because it's so much easier. And most of you men, most of you women probably say the same thing. It's just so much easier just to say, you know what? It's just too much time. Let me do it, right? let me do it. It's just easier and less time. So we do it ourselves. But I forgot what my point was, but yes, just because we're trying to, you know, I vent with you guys because I want to laugh and I want to, all those frustrations that I have, right? All those frustrations that are built up from the morning time, like Dan left, right? I'm going to give you an example. Dan left. He put Ed's cereal on the table with a banana, which is great. But when I went inside, he has the garbage is open. So guess what I walked into? You know, it's the pantry's open. There was cat pee on the floor. You know, it's those things that like they just don't think about, right? Because he's trying to get out before I leave, and I come in and I got to take care of Ed really quick. Ed's lawless. He's a fiddle fucker, right? So he just wants to be, oh, what's this? What's that? And I'm like, gotta go. We don't have time. I got to finish what I'm doing, you know? And the fucking shit is all over the floor. Yeah. So talking about it and making fun of it helps me. It helps me relax, and it helps me get some of that fucking shit out. That fucking pent up aggression that I have right now, because I'm fucking tired. I fell, my body hurts, and I'm sick and tired of cleaning up messes. Whether it's the dogs or my husband being clueless or my son open-minded, you know, fuck. Anyway, okay, love you, bye. Remember, you are important, you are worthy, and you matter. Remember, everybody who has a hard day ahead of you, I understand. I get it. I'm with you. I love you. You can do it. You're not alone. And get through the day however you get through, and give yourself some grace. Do not beat yourself up. Do not get mad at yourself for overreacting or underreacting, or maybe just doing it loud enough. It's okay. You're still doing a goddamn good job. And sorry I said goddamn to some of you, but you're doing a good job. Doing it is better than the alternative. Remember that. Marty, I'm thinking so. Anyway, love you guys. You got it. You got this day.